Yo, what's up? My name's Petrowski MTG, and Magic the Gathering is a really expensive hobby, and I like to try to help you guys collect on a budget, but also get really cool cards. I think there is a healthy medium right now that can be reached in Magic the Gathering, as long as you're buying things responsibly, healthily, and with a little bit of pre-planning in the future. I always say, don't worry about what's hot right now. Don't go for the newest product. Don't get suckered into that sort of thing. Look back on what was printed 6 months ago, a year ago. Check on older sets. Right? See how they're doing, and usually those cards are some of the best bang for your buck to pick up before they start rising long term. All right. I have been obsessed with Mystery Booster 2. I think that this set is criminally underrated. It had some really weird printing rules. It was a convention-only set. You had to, buy it at conventions. You might have been able to order it online, obviously on eBay and stuff like that, but, usually you have to go to a convention to buy it, I believe. And there was only one foil available on average per box, which is insane. One foil per booster box. That is the old school levels of foil rarity in Magic the Gathering. I did a whole video covering foils in this set if you're interested on that. This video is going to be covering non-foils and commons and uncommons in this set that I think are worth picking up and I think are really interesting and kind of underpriced in my opinion. This set was really unique. You see future sight cards, you see white bordered cards. A lot of these cards are going to be. If you don't like white border, this might not be for the video for you. I'm going to be honest with you guys and tell you that right now so you don't sit here disappointed watching a video that's not for you, right? I'd rather you know up front. A lot of future sight cards, a lot of white border cards, a lot of really good cards for cheap. I will be honest with you as well and say one of the most difficult parts of ordering Mystery Booster 2 cards is you want to try to find a seller who has other cards that you want to buy, because you want to try to get to that $5 free shipping sort of situation, or these cards are so rare. They're so at least in terms of other normal Magic cards, normal printings, right? These cards are so rare that it's hard to find multiple copies of them. I can't even buy 2 of this Soul Ring from one seller. Look at this. The whole front page is only one, right? If you have multiple copies of these cards, it infinitely raises that so you have to factor in there is shipping costs on a lot of these. So when I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you guys, oh, this Soul Ring's $3. No, it's like $5. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let you guys know up front, it's not actually $3. It's $5. I don't want you to go into that with a false expectation. If you like that style of content and like what I'm doing here, make sure to subscribe. It's the best way to support. It allows me to keep making videos like this, and I would love to hit 1,000 subs by the end of 2025. It is a massive goal that I'm working on. Thanks for watching. Let's go ahead and jump into it. As you can see, this Soul Ring, what I love about this set is all the arts are zoomed in on. With this future sight border, everything is close up. You see a lot more details on the art, and I love that. I think it's super underappreciated and slept on right now. Soul Ring, you're going to put this card in every single commander deck you ever build, unless you're doing some sort of restriction, unless it's there's obviously some decks you don't put it in, but almost every commander deck you ever build, you're going to plop in a Soul Ring first things first. It's $5. It comes down to which is your favorite Soul Ring, right? What Soul Rings is this your favorite? Is this one of your favorites? If it's one of your favorites, I would pick one up, right? If not, go get a Soul Ring you prefer. Next up, Brainstorm, legacy powerhouse, also really good in Commander as long as you build your deck properly. I will say one of the biggest newbie mistakes you see a lot of Commander players make is plopping in Brainstorm in every blue deck when they don't have enough fetch lands, just shuffle effects. You need a lot of shuffle effects to make Brainstorm effective. You have to be able to shuffle your library, fetch lands, even Evolving Wilds if you have, whatever works, right? Whatever gets that shuffle is relevant using Brainstorm. But one blue, draw 3 cards, put 2 on top. Look at this. I loved my favorite art of any Brainstorm is this one, the original, not original, but the one of the early prints, the Mercadian Mask Brainstorm, printing. And this is it just zoomed in, and I love this. It's about, after shipping, let's say $5. After shipping and tax, $5. These guys have free shipping over $5. So you can actually go to their stores and try to find other cards and try to make it. You could get it to cost $3 if you shop effectively. But let's just say it's $5, right? So it's Brainstorm, Ponder, not Future Sight, but White Border. White Border Ponder, not for everybody. I love White Border cards. I think they look fucking weird and wacky, and I adore it. Here's the Ponder. It's about let's say $3, $2 to $3 after shipping and stuff like that. So if I have to say about Ponder, it's a powerful card. Great. Almost any blue commander deck probably should be playing Ponder, depending on what the playstyle is. This is one of your best dig spells, one of your best things, but it depends on if you're going for long-term value. Ponder is a kind of a tempo card, kind of hey, I need to dig for the right thing sort of card. Now Snuff Out, probably one of the best black removal spells in Commander right now. People have really fallen in love with Snuff Out over the years. It turns out not paying for your spells is really fucking powerful. Spells being free is just the most powerful thing in Magic the Gathering. You can pick up a Snuff Out for $5 to $6. $5 to $6. This Future Sight, I love this art. This art of Liliana looking absolutely criminal, absolutely demonic. The bigger they are, the faster they rot. Being the flavor text, oh my goodness. Amazing premier removal spell in black. You can get a Future Sight border for like $5. Snuff Out's been like an $8, like a more expensive card than that in the past. That's a cheap Snuff Out, and it's a cool printing. Next up, look at this art, dude. Once again, I'm just an art sucker for some of these. My boy Chris Seaman, shout out to you, dude. Hell yeah. Demonic Consultation. Look at this bunny, dude. This little fucking evil, decayed, fucked up bunny. It's so beautiful, dude. Abandon Hope, ... The ellipses. Are you kidding me? Demonic Consultation, if you don't know, classic combo card in a lot of Eternal formats, but especially in EDH and CEDH. This is like the combo card. That's why the foil's really expensive for this. But you can get a copy of just this art zoomed in, the beautiful bunny, for like $13. One of the most powerful cards, one of the most powerful combo cards in Magic the Gathering, in Commander. $13 for a really pretty premium printing. That feels insane to me. If you don't know, you basically choose a card that isn't in your deck, and you exile the whole your whole library. That's the goal. You exile your whole library, play a Thassa's Oracle, boom, now you win the game. Foils for this fetch a much higher price of around $180. So if you want to do that, more power to you, but that is too rich for my blood. Commons and uncommons, playable commons and uncommons, man. Sakura Tribelder, classic, it's rampant growth on a creature that can get you extra synergies. Great card. Why would you not play Sakura Tribelder in any deck that has sacrifice synergies, any creature decks? You could block, like, you almost always want to play this over Rampant Growth unless you have instant and sorcery synergies for the Rampant Growth, but generally your Sakura Tribelder is just better. You know, you can play it, you can block, then sack, block some damage while also getting the ramp. Great card. Great card. About 50 cents. You know, you're probably going to pay for the shipping. Let's say $1.50 if you're paying, but if you shop smartly, you could do it for about 50 cents. Mystic Sanctuary. Now, if you're a Legacy player, you know about this card. If you're a Commander player, I don't know. I actually don't know. Tell me, let me know in the comments. Are Commander players caught up with Mystic Sanctuary? I actually have no idea. It's an island, which is really important. It's a land island, so you can fetch for it. That's what's really, really important here. You can fetch for this with any of your blue fetch lands. When it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more islands. So it can even enter. The fact that this can enter untapped is ridiculous. But it enters the battlefield most likely tapped, but it could be untapped. When it enters untapped, to be fair, it does have to enter untapped for you to get the benefit, which is really important. You may put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. This is regrowthing your most powerful blue spell. It could be a counter spell that you could have to draw into, or some sort of big Enter the Infinite, or some sort of giant powerful, or just synergy and tempo, your ponders. Whatever you're grabbing, it's something good, right? You're getting that regrowth of one of your best spells, that control, be able to just fetch for this. It's better than an island, pretty much, for the most part, right? So, an amazing card. Mystic Sanctuary, you can get it for about $1 or $2. This would go in 80% of blue decks you'd probably build in Commander, be my guess. Maybe more. Maybe like 90% of blue decks you build, you put this into, and it's $2. That's crazy, man. All right. Now, I know Mana Rocks are being hotly debated right now in Commander. Thought Vessel. I like this one. You have no maximum hand size. You don't always run it, obviously. 2, just for one little Mana Rock. It gives you the benefit of no maximum hand size. You probably run this in like 50% of Commander decks, maybe 30%. It depends. Some people run it at 100%. That's kind of crazy, but more power to you. I respect it. Excuse me. Fuck it. We do it live. You can get this card for about $1 or $2 after shipping. It's Thought Vessel. Not a whole lot to say. It's white border. Next up, Future Sight Counterspell. It's a classic. It's Counterspell. You know, 2 mana, counter target spell, instant. What are you gonna say about it? It's a great card, powerful card. Put it in a lot of blue decks. It's still a pretty darn good counterspell in Commander. Kind of fallen out of Legacy. It's kind of out of Legacy. It's too slow for Legacy. But for Commander, it's perfect. It's just 2 mana. You don't lose a card like Force of Will. I would say Counterspell. I love Force of Will. I love playing Legacy, but I would say Counterspell is better, far better in Commander than Force of Will. You'd rather take just the 2 mana counter than like having to lose a card from your hand in Commander, but it can depend. You can play both. $3, let's say. I'd say $3 on average for a Future Sight Counterspell. Fantastic deal. Pitiless Plunder, like a pretty expensive common slash uncommon for a bit in Magic the Gathering. This is like one of the cheaper copies. This is one of the cheaper printings you can get. 4 mana for Pitiless Plunder. Whenever another creature dies, you create a treasure token. This is like a massive combo. You're able to, like, you know, play your Sakura Tri-Belter, ramp, create a treasure. You can use that to other things. You can do so many combos with this and get infinites going on accident with Pitiless Plunder. Very powerful combo card for 4 mana. And it's in white. I like the white border. Not for everybody. It's going to fetch you about $3 to $4, let's say. Next up, this is a legacy card in a niche off-meta legacy deck that I adore called Nick Fit. You could also play this in Commander and have a lot of fun if you're a budget Commander player. Try this out. This card's cheap and it enables budget players, which I love. When Veteran Explorer dies, each player may search their library for up to 2 basic lands and put them onto the battlefield. 2 important things to note here. Well, I guess a few different things. Number 1, you just put them onto the battlefield, not tapped. So when you sacrifice Veteran Explorer on your turn, you're able to get the benefit immediately, unlike a lot of other, like, everybody ramp spells. A lot of like, everybody does this thing. It's, okay, you cast the mana, you get everybody the benefit, and you pass turn. No. You can get the benefit immediately off of that ramp, which is sick. And then, also, we just went over, you know, Pitiless Plunder. You can get treasure tokens. You can loop this back with other cards. Veteran Explorer. If your opponents are greedy and don't play basics, that's where this comes to play in Legacy, is like some Legacy decks are so fucking greedy, they don't play basic lands. And it basically becomes a one-sided ramp. If you are in a play group where a lot of your friends don't play basics, check out Veteran Explorer. I love, like, the one-sided ramp. It's such a fun, cool card. One of my favorite cards, maybe in all of Magic. It's a really cool card. Check it out. It's a quarter. It's, you know, maybe $1.50 if you have to pay for the shipping. But if you can get over $5, a lot of these guys are gonna have proper, what's the word? Like inventories, and you can go buy other cards while also just throwing this in your cart, right? Next up. This one was almost not on the list, but it is one of the quickest, most efficient ways to fill your graveyard, especially if you have creature synergies. Once again, with Pitiless Plunder coming back up, if you can sacrifice this to an Ashnod's Altar or just any sort of sacrifice outlet, pay 1 black, it enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards. You can even just block, like just chump block something, right? This 1 card for 1 mana essentially is going to mill 6 cards, which is the most efficient rate you can really get in Magic, as well as it's a creature you can sacrifice and get sacrifice synergies, which is, if you're running a graveyard deck, you're also usually running sacrifice synergies, like really, really powerful graveyard fueler. It's a really simple card. It's like not a card you would like look at and be like, oh, wow, it's broken, but it feels, people sleep on enablers. This card is an enabler. This card fuels busted stuff to happen. Without the fuel, you can't go anywhere in the car, right? Reanimate and, you know, Dread Return and all these busted cards are nothing without cards like this. You have to be able to fuel those busted cards. So Stitcher Supplier under a little, you know, quarter, $1.50 after shipping if you want to get the free shipping, whatever. Cool little white border, uncommon. Tendrils of Agony. Printed at uncommon is like crazy to think about. This is the premier Storm card. This is how you kill people in Storm in Legacy for the past 10 years. You know, sometimes you switch it up, but generally Tendrils of Agony is the play in Legacy. And you don't see this a whole lot from my knowledge in Commander, but I would love to see people try to, you know, whip it out, try Tendrils in Commander. The fact that it's a quarter, once again, if you get free ship, it's maybe $1.50 after the shipping or whatever, but $1.50 to a quarter, depending on how you shop. It's just so cheap for a white border Tendrils classic card. The art is fine. I don't love this art for me personally, but maybe it's for you. You know, it's art subjective like that. And then some cards randomly get this full art treatment, and I wanted to show off some of these. Look at this look at this. Oh, back to this. Sorry, Kobolds of Carekeep. Now this is a funny card. It's a Kobold 0 mana creature, a free creature. Oh my god, so busted. 0 mana for an 0/1. Unless you have some sort of synergies or you're casting Glimpse of Nature or you're doing some sort of combo, don't go putting this card into deck like a noob. But look at this art. This like jagged, this like cut. His blade is like rusty and damaged, but he's still ready to fight. He's got 0 attack. Like, he's this weak little fella, this weak little kobold. He's got 0 attack power, but he's got 1 toughness. He's at least a little tough, and I think that's really cool. So I love the art on this full art. It's $1. Do you need this for your deck? Probably not, but some decks, things like Cheerios, classic strategy where you're playing a bunch of 0 drops and drawing cards, you keep doing that to draw your whole deck and storm off and then gut shot. You know, you do end up using that strategy. So certain decks will play it. And then Forest Bear. This is only for like Aula, the bear commander. There's a few different bear commanders. There's like probably 3 or 4 bear commanders nowadays, to be fair. So There's a few different bear commanders that would want to play this card. Forest Bear, fun fact, is actually a very expensive card for a while. It was only printed in, was it like 3 Kingdoms? It was printed like a super old Magic set. For a while, the cheapest printing of Forest Bear was like 30 bucks. That was the only way you could get a Forest Bear. And nowadays, you can pick up a full art mystery booster forest and Future Sight border as well. Future Sight, full art, Forest Bear for $1, maybe $2 after shipping. That's really cool. This card used to be really expensive. I love that it got reprinted like this. It's a beautiful way to represent this is where the term bear comes from. Imagine people say, oh, it's a bear creature. It's a 2/2 with no abilities. That's a bear. It comes from, this card largely. Next up, Memnite. Similar thing to Cobalt, where it's a 0 mana creature for a 1/1, but it's also an artifact, so it has artifact synergies. This card's been used in Affinity. It's been used in other Cheerio strategies. It's kind of like a combo card. It's a few bucks, $2 to $3. Not a whole lot to talk about with Memnite. Just a 0 mana creature that's in Future Sight. It's a cool card. You probably know Memnite, but if not, it's a cool card. I love this art, and I love this art zoomed in. It's so pretty. I love green filter cards, like green dig cards. Ancient Stirrings, 1 green for a sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a colorless card from them and put them into your hand. If you're an Eldrazi deck, if you're a artifact deck in green, something like that, or you're just a green deck looking to hit your land drops. You can use this to pick, and lands are colorless cards, right? So you can get any land, or and maybe there's some land that I don't. Magic's putting crazy stuff. Maybe there's some land that I don't know of that counts as a colored card in your library nowadays. I don't fucking know. I don't think so, but you can grab any land or almost any land with Ancient Stirrings. So it's a powerful card, really pretty. Gonna be about $1.50, about $3 after shipping. I love this art. This zoomed in cat with the really beautiful emerald eyes and the emerald leaves all around her. Really, really pretty art. Next up, Counterbalance, dude. A legacy classic that has fallen out of favor, but a really cool card. Would love to see this play in Commander a bit more. You could use your Ancient Stirrings or whatever to, well, not really Ancient Stirrings, but like your Miri's Guile or your Ponders or whatever. Your Ponders, your Brainstorms at instant speed to manipulate your Counterbalance. 2 mana blue enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, counter that spell if it has the same CMC. This comes up a lot in Legacy. A lot of Legacy decks are 1-drops and 2-drops, like pretty much only. We see more stuff later on, but like usually a lot of Legacy decks are like largely 1-drops because 1-drops is a really fast format. It's very powerful. So if you can keep a 1-drop on top, you just counter like most spells. Now, since Sensei's Top was banned a few years ago, or about a decade ago now, God, I'm old. It's a bit, this was a core strategy to Miracles and Legacy for a long time, and obviously that's been banned kind of out of the format. But still a really cool card, a really classic Magic the Gathering card, a really fun card. $5 for a Future Sight, zoomed in, beautiful copy of this with like the fire and the ice fighting against each other. I think it's a really beautiful art, one of the coolest arts. And then next up, now this is a vintage, pretty much a vintage only card. It's not banned in Commander. You technically could play it, but I wouldn't recommend it. This is maybe you could honestly in certain strategies. This is one of the most powerful Magic cards to ever be printed, if you aren't aware. This is Mental Misstep. They immediately realized they fucked up when they printed this card. It is essentially a 0 mana counterspell. And not only is it a 0 mana counterspell, but it doesn't even cost, 1 card in your hand and a life, like Force of Will or multiple islands or things like foils or whatever, right? Nope. This is counter target spell with CMC 1 for 2 life. It's Phyrexian. You can pay 1 blue, or you can pay Phyrexian mana, which is just 2 life. The counter target spell with CMC 1. This is unbelievably banned in Legacy. This card would be so fucking busted in Legacy, it wouldn't even be funny. You would put this in every single deck. The problem with Mental Misstep is you would run this in every non-blue deck. You would just play this card in every deck. It's that fucking insane. As a 4-of, it'd be ridiculous. It'd be a staple of everything. It'd be so dumb. This is mostly for the maybe I'm gonna be honest, the 0 vintage players watching. Go ahead and go pick up your copy of Mental Misstep. Maybe the 2 collectors watching that actually do want to own a copy of this. It's a cool piece of Magic history. $7 after shipping, $7 for a white border Mental Misstep. I got my copy of this white border from my vintage deck, which is sitting back here. So, I did get a copy of this personally. I think it's a cool. I like white border stuff. That's Mental Misstep. We do have 2 rares. I know it's an uncommons and commons video for the most part. We do have 2 rares to cover because they are cheap, and I believe they both don't have foil versions in this set, so I couldn't cover them in the foil video, but then I couldn't really cover them anywhere else, so I'm going to cover them here, okay? Deathrite Shaman. at one point was a legacy powerhouse, so much so that it got banned. It is the infamous 1 mana planeswalker is what people always called it. You can pay 1 green or 1 black for an elf shaman. So many synergies there with that elf creature type. A 1/2 creature. You can tap it to exile a target land from a graveyard. That is graveyard control, and you ramp a mana, so it's a mana dork. You can pay a black, exile a target instant or a sorcery from a graveyard. Once again, graveyard control, plus each opponent loses 2 life, which is relevant drain in Commander. Each opponent losing 2 life, like multiple turns, back to back to back, that's going to kill people. Or 1 green, exile target creature card from a graveyard, you gain 2 life. You shut down any sort of flashback synergies, you shut down reanimate synergies, you mana ramp yourself. Deaththreat Shaman is just a powerhouse. It just does it's so flexible, dude. You put this into any Golgari commander deck, it's going to do work. It's going to be a control card, a flex slot card, it's going to ramp you, it's going to promote your own strategy, shut down your opponents incidentally. Deaththreat Shaman's a goat, man. You don't sleep on. I know it's like not popular in Legacy, or it's banned in Legacy. That's why it's not popular. It's banned in Legacy, so it's kind of fallen out of conversation. Don't sleep on this in Commander. It is still a good Commander card. It's about $5. $5 for a white border Deaththreat Shaman. Next up, back to my vintage players. I mean, you can play this in a lot of different formats, but this is a restricted vintage card. It's so powerful. A middle misstep being restricted. It is legal in Legacy. People do play it in Legacy, and you do see it in Commander occasionally. I will say this card much less powerful in Commander. This is Karn the Great Creator, white border. You can get a copy for around $3 or $4. And Karn does have a static ability of activated abilities of artifacts your opponent's control can't be activated. In Vintage, that is insane. It shuts off Black Lotus. It shuts off Moxen. It shuts off so many powerful Vintage effects. And then it starts at 5 loyalty, so you can -2 it twice, which is kind of insane. And its -2 allows you to reveal a target artifact. You grab an artifact from your sideboard, which is why this card is not really played in Commander. You can, if you want to turn 0, which I think you should. I think sideboards in Commander are fucking awesome. If you do have a friend group where you can turn 0, say, hey, are we okay with like custom rules of allowing sideboards? I think you should do it. I think it's a really cool little thing to factor in. I think it makes Commander more interesting. You can like sideboard against certain matchups, yada yada yada. I think sideboards in Commander are fantastic personally. If you do that, then you can use this kind of card and grab whatever, artifact you need in that moment when you play Karn. You could grab whatever, Mycosynth Lattice, you could grab, Ugin's Nexus for some, I don't know, if someone's trying to etch your turns, you could grab Alhammarret's Archive, you could grab whatever artifact you may need in Snaring Bridge at that moment, right? You also have the +1 of until your turn, up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to its CMC. This is often a card. It's also the static effect only affects your opponents. This is usually a card played in artifact decks to get tons of synergies. So $3 or $4 card, probably a Legacy Vintage card. You can technically play it in Commander. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to turn rule 0 with your opponents or your friends, hell yeah, go for it. More power to you. That is the last card I wanted to cover today. How do you feel about Mystery Booster 2? Am I overhyping it? Am I overrating it? What do you guys think? Let me know. Like this video physically. Click the little like button. It helps out tremendously. Like it if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. That's okay. Subscribe to the channel if I was helpful to you today. I taught you about one new card that's really interesting and cool you might want to pick up. Let me know in the comments what card you were the most interested in. And let me know in the comments what card I forgot. If I forgot a card you think is like super worth picking up in Mystery Booster 2, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Play Magic. Have fun. Peace, Reno.